What's up, everyone? I just had some things on my mind that I wanted to speak about, and I thought that could be beneficial for people. So, here we go. This video is going to be about how I believe it is not a good idea to attach your self worth or beliefs about yourself to external things. What I mean by that is whether it's opinions of other people, material objects, actions, or vices that you have. Um, so I'll kind of talk about each one of those things individually, and kind of go into what I mean by that, and what the alternative is. Um, so what I'm talking about is it is a losing battle if you're continually not only comparing yourself to others, but putting their opinions of you kind of in the foreground and using those opinions to uh, influence how you think about yourself. Bottom line, it's it's just not a beneficial way to think. I know it sounds so cliche and so like simple to be like, oh yeah, I'll just like not care about what people think about me. Like that's so easy to say, but like difficult to practice. And it certainly is 110%. That's something I struggled with for a really, really long time. Um, Having dealt with really extreme social anxiety for such a long time, that was like the thing that I really had to get past was uh, not giving a shit about what people think, or as Mark Manson would put it, the subtle art of not giving a fuck. Um, that's something that everyone I think really has to master in order to begin to like truly love themselves. Um, there is no quick way of achieving that. It is a day in and day out operation. Um, and something else that's like been thrown around for years and years, and I don't know where it originated from, but like the idea that like you can't love anyone else until you learn to love yourself. And again, that's something that's just thrown around, and like what does it really mean? uh, is it just BS or whatever? But like 100% true. um, I see it all the time. I've been guilty of it in the past too, in relationships, being codependent, and um, again, it goes back to what I was saying: attaching your self worth on another human being, the person you're in a relationship with, not knowing who you are outside of that relationship. That's something I think people really have to figure out. Um, how to achieve that, I think, is you really need to be comfortable with spending time by yourself. I know so many people personally that cannot be by themselves and are continuously looking for others to be around for a multitude of reasons, I'm sure. But I think it's one of those things where like I think a lot of people in today's society are really uncomfortable with silence. I certainly was. Again, kind of going back to the anxiety thing, like that was like the biggest trigger for me. Was if it was silent, immediately I thought like, this is because of me. This is because I'm awkward and I don't know how to converse with people, and like I'm bringing everyone else down and blah blah blah, and like all this just negative self-talk that is 100% not true. For sure, I can assure you of that. Like, we are our own worst critics 110%. um, but I think that's one of the big reasons why this like hashtag all in for August thing was really important to me for the meditation aspect. Sitting there, in complete silence and being alone with your thoughts is something that scares the shit out of me. Uh, or at least it used to a lot more than it does now. And I think it scares the shit out of a lot of people. Uh, you know, Continuously people are just keeping themselves busy in order to not kind of confront themselves, and that is something that everyone has to do in order to grow and in order to learn to love themselves, to better themselves, to accomplish their goals. It all starts with what's going on inside. So again, kind of that first part, not attaching your self-worth to opinions of other people. That's something I'll definitely go more in depth with in another video. Material possessions. I think it's very important to have goals, but those goals should not be based on material possessions. It's a losing proposition through and through. You see it all the time. There are plenty of studies, surveys, reports, whatever, of people who have won the lottery, and they look at their happiness levels like before and after, and they typically find that people are either at the same level of happiness or even worse off than they were before they won the lottery. One of my mentors that I follow, Tom Bilyeu, one of the co-founders of Quest, talks about how he sold his original company, woke up with millions and millions of dollars, but nothing changed inside. And I think that's something that people really have to recognize. Another person whose book I'm reading right now, Emily Fletcher, was a ballet dancer, and achieved a lot of her goals in that field. This is a book about meditation, by the way. Really sick so far. But woke up having achieved those goals, and the not having confronted the shit that's going on inside your head, nothing changes. Money is not the secret to happiness. 100% Again, it comes back to, you need to love yourself. You need to be comfortable in your own skin 110%. And this is not to say that there's not going to be downtimes, that there's not going to be days or weeks or where you're in a slump, and but that to me is a signal that something needs to change. Perfect example, not everyone knows this, the people that are close to me do, but I quit my job a few weeks ago. For a multitude of reasons. It's ultimately not what I wanted to be doing. I know that ultimately my goal is to help and try to positively influence as many people as I can, and working in a retail environment, regardless of the fact that it was, in a health food store, which is in kind of the field that I'm interested in. And there were definite positives here and there. Being able to talk to customers and help them pick out supplements and make some impact that way. But my goal is to positively influence the greatest amount of people in, not necessarily the shortest amount of time. I'm in it for the long haul, but there's got to be an online portion. That's why I'm, big on my Instagram and videos. That's something I really want to focus on doing more. I'm also working on a presentation that I want to do live about the applications of nutrition, specifically in regards to food and how that has an influence on mental illness. So that's something I'm working on right now, like a PowerPoint presentation. I'm in talks with a few different groups about presenting that. But if anyone has any ideas as to where I could, other places I could do that presentation, let me know. Shoot me an email or DM me on Instagram. But I kind of want to wrap this up. I don't want my videos to be too long, because I can friggin' ramble and talk about this stuff all day. So not basing your self-worth on other people's opinions, chasing material objects, and the third thing is, there's no way this is going to be quick, but basing your kind of personality and beliefs about yourself around certain activities. And what I mean by that specifically is drugs and alcohol. So I used to be a heavy weed smoker, day in and day out for years and years. And then definitely a pretty big partier and social drinker every weekend for a long time. Like I turned 30 in a couple months, and the majority of my 20s, um, although I definitely learned a lot of lessons, were spent doing a lot of drinking and smoking, and those are two things that in the heat of it I never thought I'd be able to discontinue and get over, and it's something that I attached a lot of my identity to. A lot of my close friends now can attest to the fact that even within the past couple of years, like, I was out every weekend drinking and partying, and when I made the decision to stop doing that, there was a bit of an identity crisis. Like, straight up, I was like, holy shit, what do I do now? Are my friends going to forget about me? Are these, people that I see every weekend at the bar, like, are they going to forget who I was? No. The answer is no. That's ridiculous. And even if they do, I mean, that's not anything to worry about. Like, again, that goes back to the opinions of other people thing. Like, they say those that matter don't care, and those that care don't matter. 100% true. It is very, very important to have a few close knit relationships with people than it is to have dozens or hundreds of friends. Take it from me. I mean, I'm someone that gets along really well with people, and throughout the entirety of my life, really, I always had a big friend group. I was always, like, popular, more or less. But my God, let me tell you, it is so much more rewarding to have a handful of close friends than it is to have, again, dozens or hundreds of, acquaintances or what have you. So yeah, I'm going to try to make this more of a habit to continue doing this, because I really enjoy it, and I really think it's a good way to kind of get through to people. But yeah, again, wrap it up, just to kind of, some key takeaways is confront yourself. Don't skirt around the bullshit. Like, address the concerns in your life. Again, my whole thing this month is I'm cutting out drinking, I'm practicing meditation. Those are the two biggest ways I know right now to confront myself and to grow. And then through that, by growing and bettering yourself, you're able to positively impact and influence other people. And then it's like a pay it forward mentality, right? So yeah, I think that's basically what I wanted to say. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And reach out if anyone's got any questions or you need someone to talk to. I'm always here. So yeah, take care.